when you're pushing here, this is how you're going to get engagement on knocking them over. So if your partner ever has head placement over their ass, this is always going to be the first thing you do where you come in to get their head forward. If your partner just doesn't recognize that, they're going to get knocked over, but it's very likely as soon as you go in the cross shoulder post, they have head engagement. From there, we club one, we place our head right in the collarbone, and we pummel to an underhook. From there, immediately, I'm coming in and I'm grabbing my right hand to the wristwatch area. From there, I'm driving my elbow down in the collarbone, like so. You guys can play with going through the base or going without. I recommend to go through your partner's hand here. When they're posting, finding that quadrant and bringing your partner over. One more time.
Why aren't you going with there's no base? He doesn't have a base.
You can. So the question is, we're here, bop, bop, bop. Why don't we go just to this side instead of going through the base? We have the option. When I switch to my crunch grip, when I start isolating, I lose the head and I come in here. This is generally when I start to go to that side. Initially, when I'm working here, you base to your left side with your right side foot. He still has a point of base with this foot. It's still an equal point of base. You can, it's possible if your partner doesn't have the balance to work it through on that side, but it's difficult. From here, even with my partner's point of base, if I collapse my partner's collarbone here, I should have the ability to go to my partner's left side and work through this quadrant, kind of in this direction on a 45, move over and bring them through. If I try the opposite, it's going to depend on my partner's lack of ability to use their leg for base. But when we get into the crunch grip, shoulder crunch, we're going to look to go that direction, then go back the other direction, opening it up after we lose the head. Any questions? Yes. Boom. So, we're in. We start with cross shoulder, we get engagement. I come in collar and I punch the underhook like so. From here, I'm going to get my wrist high and my elbow in line with the scapula. From there, I engage and I pull this in. From here, we're still going to have to deal with our partner's base hand. So we're pulling in and we're throwing over. I need to test out this grip going through my partner's point of base. All right, 1, 2, 3. Clubbing, head placement, driving in. Coming in, same thing on the series. We're getting everything in tight, shoulder to shoulder, ear to ear. Now from here, as I'm working and I'm driving this down, my partner slips out their head and immediately I transition to my crunch grip. When I do this, I go from a wristwatch to rolling this over like so. And now depending on my partner's head placement is going to depend on the technique I get into. Right now, for example, if my partner's head placement is low because I did alignment, it's very likely I'll transition into a reverse collar tie, look over my right shoulder, and begin to bring them over. However, for this one right now, I need to keep good alignment. One of the issues you run into is just what Liam did, where he brings his thumb up and you lose the grip altogether. I feel if I tension it correctly off the bat, where I'm getting all this in, I begin to do the first move, slips the grip, I get a tight bite, I have a good shot at this. So I'm making sure I'm keeping my elbow in alignment with Liam's elbow, like so, holding this. From there, I work my foot up to his hip, and now I need to clear his elbow, between his elbow and his shoulders, to get my triangle. So as I'm working here, I shoot it up, and I get into my trap triangle. From there, his shoulders inside, I'm gonna straighten my back leg, invert my knee, and I'm gonna lock an ankle triangle. From there immediately, we're gonna look to get into an Americana bend, where essentially we're just doing the Americana from the side to get the finish. Alternatively, if your partner loses the bend here, where they kind of straighten their arm, and they start to fight with this arm, it's very common on that reaction when they bring their second arm in, I can start to get the chokes. So if they're working this where they're fighting me with this arm, here, a lot of times I'll grab right on the tricep, I'll look to get a strong angle, and then I'll start compressing my ankle triangle. So, we have good engagement, we don't worry about it, we can wrist roll, 1, 2, we come in. From there, right off the bat, I flare my elbow, get in alignment, try to get your ear in alignment with their ear as much as you can. So we initially start off with trying to work through this point of base. I lose my partner's head, I wrist roll like so. From there, I transition my foot to the hip. If I need to, I can always move their base up. Now when I feel Liam's head coming up and his hand off the mat is when I shoot my trap triangle. From there, I'm going to scoop my partner's head, I'm going to invert my knee towards the mat, and then I get to my Americana 1, 2, they bring this second arm in, I transition, I control both arms here, and then I compress with my heel on a strong back heel motion to get the choke. Any questions?
To my partner's going to be looking for butterfly humps like so. So as I turn in,
He's going to use his elbow, and he's going to sweep me to this side.
as we go, I'm going to base out, and Vikram's going to go in an inversion from a cross shoulder frame. Right in the cross side Ashi Grami, knocking me over like so. So it's going to be important that when your partner has sweeping ability, you base out with your leg. That's going to be the key here. So one more time.
He's dropping this down. I'm pulling my head away.
And he rolls the wrist, really clamping my shoulder down. Now from here, I'm going to go to head over head. He's going to use his elbow. And I'm going to base out here with my foot. He's going to do an inversion and get into cross-side Ashi Grami, looking to collect both legs. So a little bit more complex, but mostly for your partner's movement, along with the inversion. You have to have inversion capability as well. So
Everybody's like,
it's more complicated than that, but that's why it's the last minute. So Vikram goes one more time.
1, 2. He's trying the first move. I'm pulling my head out.
He wrist rolls. I'm going head over head.
He's bringing me in this direction.
Pause right here. So now from here, he's using a cross side armpit grip right here, and then he's inverting, shooting his bottom leg through for inside triangle. Cleaning up the connection on both those legs too. Any questions? Awesome. 1, 2, 3.
This one actually seems easier than the other one.
What?
This one actually seems like easier to comprehend than the other one was for me.
it's for the
Surprised
partner.
when Iceland's in the UK.
It's for me when I like get swept. That's when it gets difficult.
Like Austin's going for that raise or lock of some sort. Gotta get that. Austin's going.
And now Austin Daffron looking to take the back.
Oh, look at that cross face. Clinical. Into the triangle. And